Good evening and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. Tonight we're very fortunate to have with us again. We had an initial interview already months back. The youngest son of Mayor Remulla, who's now the Chief Political Officer of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Martin Romualdez. We have with us Attorney Leo Remulla. Attorney,
Thank you for having me again.
of course, definitely. Now, we'll have a very interesting discussion right now because you're entering another phase in your life, which is very important for the Negrenses and the Dumagueteños to know and find out. Let's talk about first. You're a lawyer by profession and you work with the Speaker of the House. Maybe you can describe to our viewers exactly what do you do for Speaker Romualdez.
So, Doc, I want to clarify first. Sa karon, I have two jobs. My main job is working for the Speaker of the House of Congress, so I priority na ako.
Okay.
My other job is, which I also spend a lot of time on, but it's more work from home, is I'm an associate in Bernas Law Offices.
Okay.
That was my first job before I even started, before I even passed the bar. Katong gahulat mi sa bar results, ni-apply ko sa Bernas Law sa Makati. And then we handle civil cases, mostly construction, insurance, contract law. And that's where I was practicing before I got offered for Speaker's office. And then when I got offered to Speaker's office, I consulted with my dad because ang tuyo yun nako is after becoming a lawyer, I wanted to take the private practice route, meaning grind up the chain of being an associate, being senior associate, junior partner, senior partner, work in a law firm. But then when I was offered to work as the Chief Political Affairs Officer of the Speaker, first of all, I was very honored because that would be a very important position with a lot of responsibility. And my dad mentioned, because as most people might know, my dad supported Lenny in 2022.
Yes.
I thought that would be an issue because this is the Marcos administration, but my dad told me, after elections, what's done is done. We have to work together with the administration. And it seemed like a perfect opportunity for me to be of service and see how I can help out in the national level and how I can also broaden my horizon, meet more people, get my network wider. And true enough, that's what happened when I worked for the Speaker. The access of the meetings I am able to attend, the people I'm able to meet, and the responsibility given to me really taught me the value of your time, of being, of working.
Now, your decision to be or to take up law and to be a lawyer, was this motivated by some of your brother is also a lawyer, your parents, both mayor and attorney are lawyers. Was this motivated by that?
Yes, I'm sure that it was motivated by that. If some of you asked me if I was forced by my dad, no, I wasn't forced. But growing up, kabalo may ang among nakitaan ba is my parents as lawyers and sa ilang trabaho and what they tell us also about their work. So we were exposed already to the legal profession even at a young age. So more or less growing up, I kind of knew that what I wanted to do what I wanted to do as my profession is to be a lawyer. So even up to college, from first year, sugod pa sa college, that's why nag-legal management ko. Kabalon ako na ganahan ko mag-law school.
Wow. Okay. Now, talk about your growing up years here in Dumaguete when you were in Daro, studying in St. Paul College then.
So, that was around 1998 to 2002. Kay my dad was mayor from 1998 to 2001. And then, upon the election sa 2001, he lost. So, nangita siya trabaho dito sa Manila. But me and my brother finished the school year. So, sometime maybe late 2001 actually. That's when we all moved to Manila. But the first, because I was around 4 years old then, in 1998, because I was born in 1994. Being in Dumaguete, 4 years old to 7, is one of my first memories. My memory before that, 3 years old when I was born, murag dili kayo klaro. But I remember going to school in St. Paul. I remember some of my teachers, kasi nahiinahin ang faces karon, but ang names I can remember. I remember being dragged to many different events by my dad na wala ko kabalo kung unsa ang purpose sa event, pero talaga kami.
Yeah.
Late nights, matulog na may late, na-eskwela the next day. I remember being at a campaign in 2001 na magpulong-pulong may we would be sleeping at the back of the car, and then at around 11 o'clock, pag human, pukawon may kay masayaw na kuno. That's why we joke around na ngano ko no na lupig akong papa sa 2001 election. And tungod sa naluoy ko no ang mga tao na gidala ang iyang mga anak na 6 years old and 7 years old na sa mga pulong-pulong. So,
anyways, public service. Let's talk about public service. Your dad has been, mayor and he's in public service. What interested you? Well, you could have got the private practice really, but what interested you to go to more or less involve yourself in public service?
well, when I was younger, I and my dad would make jokes and people would always say na, "Oy, kinin na ba next? Kinsay mo?" Okay, where it's so common here in the Philippines that the sons and even in other cases the wives or husbands of politicians end up entering politics. No, so people would assume that even at a very young age, either me or Pelos, my brother, na mo enter yung big politics. But I always replied by saying, no, I didn't want to enter politics because I could see how difficult it can be at times. No, my dad's more than 90% of his efforts are spent thinking about the people of Dumaguete and not na he has no time for me, our family, but we can really see that what he prioritizes. Like, when we were in college and law school, naman may dito sa Manila. Ako, si Pelos, ako mama dito po na trabaho. But then my dad from 2016 up to present, para siya dire, alone in Dumaguete. But that's part also of, I could see that he really had the political will. He really wanted to be the politician who could effect positive change in Dumaguete. And we could see it from the start sa pagsugod niya sa decide when he wanted to run in 2016. Naana siya yung master plan, naana siya yung mga idea kung unsa how can we progress, how can Dumaguete progress. And I guess when the older I got, the more I saw the sacrifice and service that he gave, I realized also the bigger picture, what is it for, and he really wants to leave behind a legacy na pag human sa iyang time, he could point to Dumaguete and say na kining LGU started off as a certain, parang a different classification LGU. Karon unsa man ta karon? What class of LGU are we now?
Second class.
Second class and almost first class.
Yes.
Kung maybe in the future, maybe 9-12 years can be an independent city then, diba? But so back to the question, what encouraged me was really seeing that at the end of the 9 years of my dad, although he has accomplished a lot, murag naghampag potential ng Dumaguete to progress. And ngano ako, nagganahan ko mo enter into politics or see the field is because I want also the legacy to continue the legacy that he wants to build. And hopefully, I'll be given a chance to make my own legacy also. And another doc is when I entered Speaker's office, I could also see the different congressmen and how they work, their work ethic, ilang mga serbisyo for the people. And I was also motivated seeing my peers, akong mga blockmates sa law school, si Kong J.C. Abalos, a friend of my girlfriend, si Kong Aniela Tolentino, si Congressman Cory Horibata, sa Kamsur. These guys, some of them I grew up with, I'm close to, and kabalo ko kung unsa katawo sila. And despite having, they are self-made, they didn't have to enter politics, kumbaga. They were already set if they entered the private industry, but they decided to go into public service and use up their time in trying to serve the people. So that also made me realize, if my peers can do it, why not me? Why not take bata pa man bitaw me? So why not spend the time I have while I'm still energetic and young and put those efforts into serving the people?
It's no secret that Attorney Deo that we have been doing the rounds for the past few months, going to the various barangays, visiting the schools as well, being the speaker, and trying to
get a feel of their concerns and what we can do later. Right now, I'm not pressuring you, but right now, what between now and October is just around the corner. What's the feel right now as far as you're concerned?
So, right, correct na, Doc, na libot-libot na ko, whatever I can, whatever events I can join. Kaya I also wanted to expose myself, not only to introduce myself to the people, but also for me to know what the people want, what the people need, unsa ang mga concerns sa ubat-ubat sa lain na mga barangay. And also to see, of course, if I would be accepted. No? Kaya na may mga tao na like I've been hearing around that people will say na dili mong dito taga Dumaguete, dili gani ko makasulit Bisaya. So I wanted to see if, you know, with me, if when I go down to the people, will I be looked at as a stranger to the city, or will they accept me? And so far, it's been good. Surprise gani sila makasabot di ay Bisaya, makasulti pa, and the reception was good, so that also uplifted my spirit in terms of whether or not I should enter politics, because it's a big change, especially for my lifestyle. No, but I'll leave it at this. Every time I come back here, every time I come home sa Dumaguete, the chances of me running go higher and higher. Mas nainganyo ako every time I go around, I see the people, I magpatapok ko, I meet the mga senior citizens. Every time I do those events, my chances of, I guess, filing or running in 2025 elections go higher.
Wow, okay, well said. Of course, everybody runs for something. They need to say they represent something and they want to do something. Let me ask you, when that time comes, what do you represent as a person and as a public servant?
So, as a person, I'd like to believe that my parents raised me, my brother well, to know the difference between what is right and wrong. As far as, sometimes kasi as we know, there are a lot of gray areas.
Yeah.
And, I guess that's where matasan sa tao is really makitaan in those gray areas kung asa kabusay. So, what I would like to represent as a person is to do what gives the most good for more people, for the most people. So, when it comes to wanting to run for the next 2025 elections, then I would like to represent everybody getting the government support that they should, all the government services na mahatag yun sa mga tao kay usahay along the lines mawala or malimtan. I guess also as a public servant, same answer as a public servant and as a person. What is just and fair po? Okay, there are a lot of things that could be legal. For example, one big issue that is always brought up around the Philippines is what to do with illegal squatters. Okay, diba? Okay. Under the law, dili man good sila pwede magpuyo dila. But ang atong kaugalian, no? What we feel when we see these people, dili man pwede nato ipahawat or let them leave without finding them a proper place to relocate. And also under the law, that is required. Diba? But other things also you have to consider na even if you provide them with a place to relocate, basing layo sa ilang mga skulahan, kasi big sa naganahan, So, when it comes to situations like that, I'd like to think that it will always boil down to what is just and fair. What is due to the person based in the situation that he or she is in. So, ang mga indigent persons, what would be just and fair for them is to be given the government services that are intended for them. Ang mga medical assistants, ang mga cash assistants, uban ng mga Department of Labor and Employment programs that can help with the livelihood of the people. And we have these programs in government. We have these programs in the different national offices, the different executive offices. So, just finding a way to bring those programs, more of those programs to our city, so that the average Dumagueteño will not have to worry about the basic needs such as food, medicine, and shelter.
Going on that statement of yours as to being just and fair, for a fact that government service is a technical job. You do good, you be fair, you're just. It's like you're a personal, both of us are personal witness of your dad's instinct, fair, And despite the compassionate stance, despite the him being a visionary already, there are many partners also that are discontented with what he's doing. Has this not discouraged you?
Not really. Well, I haven't. I've seen the things said and posted about my dad, but I also don't take it so personally because, first of all, these people wala sila kaila kung unsa ka tawo gyud ang papa.
Yeah.
So, if you just meet him, if the people who actually know him and who know what kind of person he is would not say these negative things or these accusations against him.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think also, for me, if people get to know me, they'll know that my intentions are pure. No? And also, what I've noticed with my dad is he believes that a certain way is the right way. He has the political will to push through or follow through with his plans and agenda, even if he knows the general public might be against him. As long as, of course, one, it's legal, two, it will really help and benefit the people of the Dumaguete. Kaya a lot of people are afraid of change. So even if you try, the progress will always require change. So sa sugod, of course, there will always be negative reactions, there will be a lot of pushback. But if you have political will to finish your project and see the fruits of your labor, then ang ending ana, makita ko sa mga tao, maayo di ay yung project ni Mayor. And that's what I want to also embody when and if I decide to run. That whatever I believe to be true, with the proper research, proper guidance, I will strive to achieve it, no matter what the criticism would be from whoever, from the media, or as long as I believe or I know, and the people I consult, the people I talk to know that this project will be good for the people.
Your dad, Mary Beth, has been a visionary already. He has, when he started off, he had the master planner. Most of it has been accomplished. What would people expect from as far as your vision is concerned?
So I'm coming from a position where my dad is the mayor. For 3 terms, na siya mga iyahang programa, na siya iyahang mga projects. And a lot of them, of course, have redounded to the benefit of the Dumagueteños. Kanang mga project that are really helpful, that have been really helping the people, that our people look forward to. Of course, padayon nato na. We're already in an uphill projection for the progress of Dumaguete. So we'll keep doing what has been working and we'll improve on the things that have not been working. And also add more projects, add a different point of view, other ways na makatabang code. And that's part of why I've been going around. So I can see what can be my initiatives to help na input sa akong father. Because like I said, other than continuing the legacy, I want to find ways na makabuild kong ako. Because I don't want to be viewed as somebody who is just following in footsteps. The following is part of it, but I want to be able to walk my own path also eventually. And me doing this, I'd also like to think and it's been happening now, a lot of people in my age, mga 35 to 25, they've been taking on more leadership positions in the private sector and also the public sector. So if people like I said, I get inspiration from people like Vico Soto also. At a very young age, he was put in a position where he ran for mayor and he's been doing very good at it ever since. So seeing somebody like Vico, and then if I was given the chance to serve, hopefully we can also inspire, or like Vico's inspired me, for the youth, to be more active and to participate more in discourse of public affairs.
Yeah, as we said earlier, you've been doing the rounds, and of course, getting the feel and the sentiments, concerns, and you've been able to visualize and even think of what would be your priorities. Given the opportunity, really, what would be your priorities in terms of service to the public?
Well, of course, easier said than done, but the basic answers would be education, if poverty, more jobs, and everything. But I guess to go down to the details, from what I've seen, that hanggang kulang ng mga basic necessities. That's why what we've been pushing for now is to give more ayuda. Kailangan tayo budget gikan sa national government for medical assistance and cash assistance under DSWD. So why not nangayo ta dito sa Congress from Speaker Martin and also tingog party list has been generous enough to put up a Alagang Tingog Center here in Dumaguete City, whose sole purpose is to give medical and cash assistance. So this is from Congresswoman Yeda Romualdez, the wife of Speaker, and Congressman Jude Asidre. So from going around, of course, ang mga tao mangitag dito kay Yuda, kay that's the fastest way na makakuha sila ng pagkaon, medisina. But at the end, of course, I would want the Dumagueteños to also be self-sufficient. That should be the goal of government, not to just give band-aid solutions to problems, but to give solutions that will allow people to have their own livelihood, to have their own source of income. So one thing I would like to explore is really more livelihood programs under DOLE and TESDA. Find ways to create jobs. So that's part also of what my dad is pushing for, more investors who come in. Because the more money that comes into Dumaguete, the more jobs you create.
That's right.
Diba? So job creation would be one of my main focuses. And that would, the easy question, the easy answer again would be improve education, so that mas qualified ang ato ang mga Dumagueteños for positions and jobs. But also, for them to be able to create their own source of income in terms of farming, agriculture, kay magamit po na nato with the different livelihood programs.
Talk more and expound more on you made mention about the Tingog Party List opening its office in Dumaguete City. Talk more about that particular.
So, Tingog Party List is a party list that ran in the last 2022 elections, garnered enough votes. Tingog Party List was able to garner enough votes, meaning na sila duwa ka congressman representing them in Congress. So this is si Congresswoman Yeda Romualdez, the wife of Speaker, and Congressman Jude Asidre. Naa sila'y gibuhat karon na sa tibuok Pilipinas, nagbutang sila og mga Alagang Tingog Center, all in different areas of the Philippines, in different LGUs. And normally, they would partner up with somebody from the locality to help them run the office. In Dumaguete City, I was made their political partner, the principal of the Alagang Tingog Center. And the purpose of that Alagang Tingog Center is to also bring national government programs like the medical assistance for indigent persons under DOH, and assistance for individuals in crisis situation under the DSWD closer to the people, giving them more access to these different social services sa mga ayuda. So this Alagang Tingog Center, which is now operational and is located sa Taft Street sa Poblacion 8, doon sa atong public market. Sa tapad din siya sa Medicart Pharmacy, makahatag na yung mga ayuda in the form of medical assistance. So if ang mga tao na yung mga hospital bill, or they sila ng reseta para sa kailangang mga medicines or maintenance, they will bring the hospital bill or reseta together with a medical certificate, a barangay certificate of indigency, and a valid ID to our Tingog office. Among staff, itan-aw ang documents kung complete, muhatag mig endorsement letter na ako ang signatory, so ako nakapangalan dito sa endorsement letter that says something like, Attorney Dio Remolyo hereby endorses so-and-so in the amount of, for example, 50,000 in Silliman University Medical Hospital, SUMC. So, ihatag sa beneficiary, sa tao, and then the endorsement letter ihatag sa hospital, and that would be good for the amount specified in the endorsement letter. So that could be used for your hospital bills and for medicine. I'd also like to say na not all pharmacies are accredited sa DOH. So, ang mga normal na accredited are the pharmacies sa 4 hospitals nato, Polymedic, Holy Child, SUMC, and NACE Hospital. Kanang mga pharmacy dito, pwede po. And then, Medicart, katong tapad sa Tingog office, accredited po na. You can get your prescriptions there, and then medical bill, then we can give you an endorsement letter. Other than the medical assistance, we also have cash assistance under DSWD. This is the assistance in individuals in crisis situation. So we're hoping na atay pamaraan na makahatag tag cash assistance on a periodic basis, regularly, so that we can maximize the use of our budget and that makatagan yung tanan na tao, even just a little cash assistance, so that whatever their daily, we can take off a little stress of what they need for their daily living.
What do you think, personally, what do you really think about the TUPAD program of the Department of Labor and Employment? Is it effective in providing emergency relief to people considered poor?
I think the Tupad program is a good program, because first of all, the government also needs help with work. Diba? So, kining Tupad program will also provide additional work for help for the government. But more than that, which is the main focus, is to provide the work. So, from my understanding, ang Tupad is ayuda, but after a certain number of days work, 10 or 8 days, and then they get around 6 to 8K. So at least kini siya, trabaho, it will teach also the person, the beneficiary na mabayran ka if trabaho ka. So it's good in a way that it helps both government and the private individual. Kay hatagan siya kwarta for his services, matagaan ko ng services ng government. But it should also be looked at as a balancing act ka ng Tupad.
Yeah.
Kay usahay ang Tupad, if mo rely lang ang mga tao sa ingana, kung walay Tupad, wala sila'y trabaho. Dili, walay kulang ang budget sa Tupad, wala na yung trabaho ng tao. That's why the other programs that the Department of Labor and Employment are pushing are the livelihood programs. Those programs na at the end, it's possible for continuation of the person who went through the program to continue his own work or his own whatever work that he or she was doing. No, there's like a continuity. Kanang Tupad kasi if there's no budget, it ends.
Now, on a personal note, what are you most proud of among the several achievements of your dad, your father, Mayor Benjamin, and why?
Well, out of the many things that he's achieved, one of the things that I'm most proud of is what he's done with the MRF. Because as we all know, one of the biggest problems na natin is Dumaguete is waste management. And even in all around the Philippines, because of the lack of space, we don't have the proper resources to be able to dispose waste properly. Except now, through the MRF, we're able to recycle waste and make it into usable items that we really need. No? It's not like we're turning trash into something na will just be trash eventually also. Kining mga ato ang gihimo out of this trash is kanang magamit yun sa mga tao. So that's one thing.
Your party message for the people of Dumaguete and of Nueva Ecija.
So, ako si Attorney Dio Remolyo. I'd like to let you know na approachable ko na tao. So, ayong kaulaw kung makita nyo nako or makita ninyo nga akong ngalan sa Facebook, i-adra ko, chatira ko. If I have the time, I'll find time na makareply sa inyo ha, makatabang sa inyo ha, or whatever. Kung makistorya lang mo or ganahan mo mag-coffee, I am always available. I mean, not always, but I'll try to be available. Para yun, makailan mo na ako and makailapot ko ninyo. So, thank you very much and I wish everybody a good night.
Very there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that's our episode for tonight. Always, please do subscribe always to our YouTube channel. So keep copying and be well.